Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Come to page number 25. Yeah. Today we will move to the Indus civilization. Okay, so in our previous classes we have discussed the three civilizations. So what are they? Yeah, first Egyptian civilization, then Mesopotamian civilization, then Chinese civilization. Now in today's class we will start with the Indus civilization. So that belongs to our country India, but most part of the sites of Indus civilization located in Pakistan. Okay, so what was its importance? Okay, so how the people lived. Yeah, so what are the archaeological studies shown? Yeah, we will discuss in today's class. So previously we have discussed about the Chinese civilization. Yeah, so there are two major rivers of China. What are they? Yeah, Huanghe and Yangtze. Okay, so Huanghe was called as Yellow River. Yeah, then so the Chinese civilization developed in this region only. Then we discussed about the polity. So the dynasty. So first the Qin dynasty. Yeah, so the emperor, so Shi Huangdi. So he only unified China. Yeah, so he was considered as the first emperor of China. Yeah, so Qin dynasty we discussed. Then the Han Empire we discussed. Then the Silk Road. Okay, so through the Silk Road, so China had trade contact with Italy, that is with the Roman Empire. Yeah, so the Chinese silks were exported to the Roman Empire. So we have discussed that also. Then the terracotta army. Yeah, so it is the large collection of terracotta warrior images found in China. Okay, so they depict the armies of the Qin Shi Huang. Yeah, so the first emperor Shi Huangdi. Okay, so we have discussed about the terracotta army. Then finally we discussed about the philosophy in literature. So the Chinese poet and philosophers. So who were the Chinese philosophers? So name some. Yeah, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Mencius, so etc. Then also Sun Tzu. So they were the famous philosophers we have discussed. Then we discussed about the Chinese script. So their writing method was a pictographic system. Then finally about the contribution of the Chinese civilization. So we have discussed in detail about the Chinese civilization in our previous class. So where is Indus Valley located? So it is located in northwest of India. So that is in Pakistan. So most of the sites are located in Pakistan, and some parts of India also come under the Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so the cities in the places in Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, and a few parts of Maharashtra so comes under this region. You can see in this picture. Okay, so the Indus Valley civilization, it is in the northwest of India, that is in the mostly in the Pakistan country. So the Indus civilization, also known as Harappan civilization. Yes, Indus Valley civilization was also called as Harappan civilization. Why it was called as Harappan civilization? Because so Harappa, it is located in Pakistan. Yeah, so the first site was discovered was Harappa. Yeah, so the Indus Valley civilization first site was Harappa. So that's why it was called as Harappan civilization rather than Indus Valley civilization, because it extended beyond the Indus River valley. So the civilization not only seen in the Indus River. Okay, it extended beyond the river valley. So that's why it was also called as Harappan civilization. It covers an area of over 1.5 million square kilometer both in India and in Pakistan. Yeah, so the total area so covered by Indus Valley civilization was 1.5 million square kilometer. Okay, so what are its boundaries? Yeah, so if you take northern side, so it is Shotogai in Afghanistan. If you take south border, it was Daimabad. It is in Maharashtra in India. If you take eastern part, that was Alamgirpur, which is in Uttar Pradesh in India. Then if you take western border, it was Sutkajandor, which lies in the Pakistan-Iran border. Okay, so if you take the boundary line of Indus Valley Civilization, in the north it was Shotugai, which is in Afghanistan. In the south it was Daimabad. So it is in Maharashtra in India. Then if you take eastern part, it was Alamgirpur in Uttar Pradesh. If you take western part, it was the Sutkajandor. So these were the cities. So these were the places. So that are the sites. Okay, so which marked the edge of the Indus Valley civilization. Yeah, so the boundary line. Okay, so its main concentration was in the regions of Gujarat, Pakistan, Rajasthan, and Haryana. So mainly it is in the Pakistan. But if you take Indian states, it includes Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Haryana. So planned towns. So what are the important towns of Harappan civilization, Indus civilization? So first Harappa, which is located in Punjab, Pakistan. So Punjab, it is Indian state or Pakistan state? Yeah, Punjab lies both in India and Pakistan. Yeah, so during independence, India was divided into two. Okay, so Indian Dominion was divided into two. One is India and another is Pakistan. Yeah. So while bifurcating, so while dividing our country, so some of the states also divided into two halves. Okay, so like Punjab, Bengal. Okay, so Punjab, east part of Punjab was given to India, and west part of Punjab was given to Pakistan. Okay, so in that Punjab, Pakistan, so Harappa is located. Then Mohenjo-daro. So already you have learned in your previous lower classes. So it is located in Sindh province of Pakistan. Then Dholavira, it is located in Gujarat, India. Then Kalibangan, it is located in Rajasthan, India. Lothal, it is located in Gujarat. Then Banavali, it is located in Rajasthan. Then Rakhigarhi, Haryana. Then Surkodara, Gujarat. So these are the important cities. So major cities of the Indus civilization: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Kalibangan, Lothal, Banavali, Rakhigarhi, and Surkodara. So these are the major cities of Indus civilization. So they are the planned towns. So they found a lot of towns in this buildings in these towns. So what are the importance of the Indus civilization? Yeah, fortification. So fortification means a defensive wall or other reinforcement built to fortify a place. Okay, so fortification, a defensive wall, a protection wall, or other reinforcement built to fortify a place. Okay, so fortification, well planned streets. So the streets were well planned. So the house were built in a proper order. Yes, if you see the houses, buildings of Indus Valley civilization, they were built in a proper order. So they are in a line. Okay, so and lanes. So lanes means, yeah, that roadways. So you know the 4-lane, 2-lane, 3-lane. You heard now, no? Yeah, in national highways you can see 4-lane, 5-lane road, 8-lane road, etc. Yeah. So the lanes and the drainage so can be observed in the Harappan towns. Okay. So the importance of Harappan towns. So you can see fortification. Then the streets were well planned, and the lanes and the drainage can be observed. So the Harappans used baked and unbaked bricks and stones for construction. So for their home construction, so therefore building construction, they used baked and unbaked bricks. Okay. So it was considered that there was a authority, that there was a civic authority controlled the planning of the towns. Okay, so it was considered. So the archaeologist and the scientist considered that there may be a civic authority who controlled the planning of the towns. So some of the houses had more than one floor. So a few of the houses had more than one floor. Okay, so if you see the towns of the Harappan civilization, Indus civilization, so some of the features like fortification, well-planned streets, and lanes and drainage can be observed. Yeah, they used baked and unbaked bricks and stones for construction. So perhaps, so that is, so maybe a civic authority controlled the planning of the towns. So some of the houses had more than one floor. This is the Great Bath. So the tank called the Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro was an important structure, well paved with several adjacent rooms. So it was a great bath. So for bathing, so they constructed a tank in Mohenjo-daro. It was an important structure of the Indus civilization. Yeah, so this great bath was surrounded by several rooms. Okay, so this great bath was an important structure, then well paved with several adjacent rooms. So if you take this great bath, so it was a very advanced during that time. Yeah, so there is a way for the entry of water and there is a way for the outflow of water. Okay, so there is the steps. So there are steps around the great bath. Yeah, so there are the steps around the great bath for the people to take bath in that construction. Okay, so this was an important structure, so which was found in the Indus Valley civilization. So that is in the Mohenjo-daro. So archaeologists have also found some unearthed structures. Okay, so they were identified as a granary. So granary means a place where the grains, so that is where the agricultural crops are placed, were kept. Okay, so some unearthed structures have been identified as granary. So you can see in this picture. So some granary. But we do not know the nature of the state or political organization of the Harappans. So if you take the initial civilizations, so Egyptian, Mesopotamian, Chinese, we know about their political organization. Yes, so say for example the Mesopotamian civilization, we have discussed about the Akkadian, Sumerian, okay, then Babylonian we have discussed. If you take the Egyptian civilization, we know about the Pharaoh. So the Egyptian king was called as Pharaoh. But if you take the Indus Valley civilization, we do not know about the nature of the state or political organization. Okay, so we didn't get any detail. Yeah, so we get a lot of some details, but we didn't know the language system. Yes, we didn't know the language of the Indus Valley people. So if they identified their language system means means we can able to know a lot of things from them. Okay, so till now we don't know about their political organization. Yeah, so but they must have had a political organization at the level of an early form of state. Okay, so but it was considered that they had a political organization. So in the initial form of state. Yeah, so a male image from Mohenjo-daro has been identified. You can see in this picture. Yeah, so a male image can be identified, which was called as priest king. Yeah, but we do not know about the accuracy of this interpretation. But we do not know about this male image completely. So just we named it as priest king. Yeah, but we didn't know detailedly about this image. So interpretation. So the act of explaining something. So this male image so was called as priest king, but we don't have much detail about this. Then agriculture and animal domestication. So the Harappans practiced agriculture. Yeah. So what are the crops cultivated by them? Yeah, they cultivated wheat, barley, and various type of millets. Yeah, so they cultivated wheat, barley, and various types of millets. They adopted a double cropping system. So double cropping means, yeah, they cultivated two crops at a time in a single field. Yeah, so in single field they cultivated two crops. So that is called as double cropping system. So pastoralism was also known to them. So pastoralism means, yeah, rearing of cattle. Yeah, so pastoralists, you know. Yeah, so it was also known to them. They reared cattle, sheep, and goats. Okay, so the Harappans practiced agriculture and cultivated crops like wheat, barley, and millets. So they adopted a double cropping system. So pastoralism was also known to them. They reared cattle, sheep, and goats. So they had knowledge of various animals. Yeah, so they know about various animals, including elephant, but they did not use horses. Yeah, so the important one. Yeah, so the Indus Valley people know about various animals. Okay, so they had a knowledge about elephant, but did not use horses. Yeah, so they didn't use horses, but they had a knowledge about elephant. So the Harappan cattle are called Zebu. Yeah, so the Harappan cattle are called as Zebu, and it is a large breed. Yeah, so it is a large breed, and they are often represented in their seals. Yeah, so the Harappan seals. Yeah, so had representation feature of the cattle Zebu. Yeah, so the Harappan cattle are called Zebu, and they are often represented in their seals. So pottery. So the Harappans used painted pottery. Yeah, so the pots. So you can see in this picture. So they were painted. So they had a lot of design. Yeah. So their potteries have a deep red slip and black paintings. Yeah. So the potteries have a deep red slip and black paintings. The pottery has shapes like dish on stand, storage jars, perforated jars, goblets, S-shaped jars, plates, dishes, bowls, and pots. So the painted motifs. So motif means, yeah, a single or recurring image forming a design. Yeah, so some designs were painted on the pot. Okay, so you can see in this picture. So generally noticed on the pottery. So it depicts papal tree leaves. Okay, so it depicts papal tree leaves, fish scale designs, intersecting circles, zigzag lines, horizontal bands, and geometrical motif, and floral and faunal patterns. So floral, that means, yeah, flowers. Faunal, yeah, animals. Okay, so their pot, so the pottery, yeah, so the Harappans used painted pottery. You can see in this picture. Yeah, so different shape, different structure, so different artwork. Yeah, so it was not uniform. Yeah, so the pottery. Okay, so it shows their skill. Yeah. Their potteries have a deep red slip and black paintings. So the pottery has shapes like, so different shapes of pottery was identified. Yeah, so it was not like a simple pot. Yeah, so it like a dish on stand, storage jar, perforated jar, goblet, S-shaped jars, plates, dishes, bowls, and pots were found. Yeah, in the spot they draw a lot of imagination. Yeah, they draw a lot of things on it. Yeah, so the painted motif generally noticed on the pottery. Yeah, so in the pot you can you see? Okay, well, yeah. So they depict some intersecting lines. So zigzag lines. So designs. So horizontal bands. So floral faunal patterns. So were seen in these spots. Okay, well. So this picture shows some of the pottery works which was kept in the National Museum in New Delhi. Okay, so the Harappan pottery. Yeah, so the Harappan pots, so which was excavated in various sites, were kept in this site in the museum. Yeah, so the National Museum, which is located in New Delhi. Again, so if you have any chance to visit this means, just to look at this. So this belongs to the Indus Valley civilization period, so which existed 5,000 years before. Metal tools and weapons. So what are the tools used by them and the weapons? So the Harappans used chert blades. So chert means a hard opaque rock composed of silica with a microscopically gained texture. Yeah, so chert, it is a hard opaque rock composed of silica with a microscopically gained texture. Okay, so the Harappans used chert blades, copper objects, and bone and ivory tools. They did not possess knowledge about iron. Yeah, so the Indus people do not have knowledge about iron, but they used chert blades. So chert, it is a type of rock. Okay, then copper, then bone and ivory as tools. Yeah, so the tools and equipments such as points, chisels, needles, fish hooks, razors, weighing pans, mirror, and antimony rods were made of bronze. Okay, so the tools and equipments like point, then chisels. So chisel, a long blade hand tool with a leveled cutting edge struck with a hammer or mallet to cut or shape wood, stone, or metal, etc. Yeah, so chisel, a long blade hand tool. Yeah, so with a leveled cutting edge, so struck, so joined with a hammer or mallet to cut or shape wood, stone, metal, etc. So chisel, it is a type of tool. Okay, then needles, fish hooks, razors, weighing pans. So weighing pans means, yeah, for weighing the object. Yeah, mirror and antimony rods. So they were made of bronze. So the chisels made out of rock richot were used by the Harappans. The chisels made out of rock richot. So rock richot, what was it? Yeah, so rock richot is nothing but the raw material. So the chet raw material collected from a place called as Rohri in Pakistan. Okay, so their weapons included, so the weapons of the Harappans included arrows, spears, a chisel bladed tool, and axe. Okay, so their weapons, so the weapons of Harpens included arrows, bow and arrow, then spears, then a chisel bladed tool and axe. Okay, va? So rohri chet, so already told you, so nothing but it refers to the chert raw material collected from Rohri in Pakistan. So rohri chet. Okay, va? So rohri, it is a place in Pakistan. From this region only the chert, the raw material was collected. It was used by the Harappans for making blades. You can see in this picture. So the Harappans used both stone and bronze tools. Yeah, so the Harappans used both stone and bronze tools. Okay, so the Harappans collected the Rohri chert. Yeah, so the raw material. So it is the raw material. Okay, so first it was excavated in the place called as Rohri in Pakistan. So that way it was called as Rohri chet. Yeah. So the Harappans used these raw materials for making blades. Then textile and ornaments. So the Harappans used metal and stone ornaments. So you can see in this picture. So used metal and stone ornaments. They had knowledge of cotton and silk textile. So they had a knowledge of cotton and silk textile. They made carnelian, copper and gold ornaments. So carnelian means, yeah, it is a dull red or reddish white semi-precious variety of stone. Okay, wow. So it is a dull red. It looks like a dull red in color or reddish white in color. It is a semi-precious stone. So precious means very valuable. So semi-precious means so not that much valuable. Okay, wow. So they made cornelian, copper and gold ornaments. Faience, stoneware and shell bangles were also used. So some type of ornaments. Okay, so faience, stoneware and shell bangles were also used. So some of them had etched design and the Harappans exported them to Mesopotamia. Yeah, so some of the ornaments had etched design. So the etch, so they had designs. The designs were etched. That means like it was printed or it was published. Yeah, so etch. So what do you mean by etch? So like an impress. Yeah, so some impress were seen at the edge. Okay, so on the designs. Okay, so the Harappans exported them to the Mesopotamia. Okay, okay, students. So in today's class we have discussed about the Indus Valley civilization. So what we have discussed? Yeah, where it is located. Yeah, so the total area. So the total area covered by Indus Valley civilization was 1.5 million square kilometer. Then the main concentration region were, yeah, Gujarat, Pakistan, Rajasthan and Haryana. Then important towns. What are they? Yeah, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Lothal, Kalibangan, Banavali, etc. Okay, wow. Then we discussed about the Great Bath. Okay, wow. So where it is located, the Great Bath? Yeah, Mohenjo-daro. Then a male image. So how it was identified as? Yeah, priest king. Then the cropping system. So what type of cropping system was practiced by the Harappans? Yeah, double. So what were the crops they cultivated? Yeah, wheat, barley and millets. Okay, wow. Then did they know about horse or elephant? Yeah, they know about elephant. Did not know about horses. Okay, wow. Then they used various animals. Okay, so they also had knowledge of various animals. So what was their Harappan cattle called as? So the Harappan cattle are called as, yeah, Jebo. Then we discussed about pottery. Yes, their skill in architecture. So pottery, then metal tools and weapons. Then finally about the textile and ornaments used by the Harappans. Yeah. In tomorrow's class, we will continue with the Indus Valley civilization itself. So the trade and exchange activities, the way and the measures, so the seals, the script, then their art, then finally about their religion. Okay, and also where they came from. Yeah, and finally we discuss why the Indus culture declined. So what was the reason? Yeah, so what are the facts that causes the decline of Indus civilization? In tomorrow's class we will discuss. Okay, so textbook reading. So take page number 25. Yeah, read that planned towns paragraph fully. Yeah, so stand up and read well. So then homework. So for written homework, so take page number 26. Yeah, just to write that do you know paragraph only. So it is not a book back question. So just to write it as a homework in your homework note. Okay, okay students, thank you. So if you have any doubt, ask me. Okay, so have a nice day.